Hey friends of the Comfy Nest, this is Grace, and today we're doing a project on a 9x12 canvas panel, just a basic art panel. And I'm going to be using a gorgeous floral stencil set from Essential Stencil to accomplish this beautiful piece. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover or paint on to this canvas panel black gesso. I really wanted a black striking black background, and the gesso is just fabulous for this. The brand that I'm using is called Little Birdie. But you can use any brand that you have on hand or that you can get. And what I love about the gesso is first of all, it's a primer. So it's going to prime your canvas panel to take any kinds of mediums. So markers and watercolors and acrylics and, anything pretty much that you can throw at it should be able to be handled by this black gesso. So the black gesso is giving me a primer, but it's also giving me the color that I want, which is that beautiful black, and it's a very matte finish. It's streak free. You're not seeing any streaks in this finish when it's done. So I'm going to go ahead and finish with painting this black, but like I said, I'm using black gesso. And then for the next part, I'm going to use the stencil and a texture paste together to create a textured flower on this project. So thank you for stopping by here at the Comfy Nest. If you're new or returning, welcome, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here at the channel. Please make sure that you say something in the comments to let me know that you're here, that you viewed, that you stopped by to visit. Let me know where you're coming in from. If you're a new viewer, returning viewer, I just love to hear from you, and I do my best to comment on all the comments that come through on my videos. So thank you for stopping by. Here I go. This is the texture paste that I'm using, you guys. It's Art Extravagance texture paste, and it's a platinum crackle. So it's a crackle paste, but it has a gorgeous platinum sheen to it, like a pearlescent platinum sheen. It's just really beautiful. I'm gonna, in a minute here, when I'm done applying this, I'm going to show you a close-up of it. So stay tuned for that here in a minute. And at the end, I was able to capture, thankfully, some close-ups that are just gorgeous of how this project finished up. So what I'm doing is I'm using the stencil to push the texture paste onto the canvas panel, and I'm using a palette knife to do it. You could use, a credit card, some kind of squeegee that you might have on hand. There are all kinds of art supplies or even kitchen supplies that you could use to apply this. I'm just using a basic palette knife there. And I wanted to scale. You can see I didn't use the whole stencil, but I wanted to scale it onto that panel. So there I'm showing you, they're 12x12 stencils, and there are several different florals that you get with them, and they're gorgeous. But if you use any types of crackle mediums or modeling paste, molding paste with your stencils, please make sure that you clean them right away. You do not want that texture to dry and harden onto your delicate stencils. You can see there are a lot of delicate parts to that stencil, and you don't want to muck them up with hardened paste. So make sure that you clean them right away if you're using any texture paste. So I'm going to hold that up a little close so you can try. I'm going to try to show you that there's a texture here. And you can see a little bit of the platinum sheen, which is just gorgeous. And I am going to cover up that. I am going to cover up most of it with some paints because I really wanted a pink color. So I'm focusing on here, once this is dry, placing down that stencil again, clean stencil, dry canvas panel with the texture paste on it. I'm going to try to just place that on there exactly as it was the first time. And then I'm taping it down, and I'm going to use, I have this gorgeous bright pink color from Martha Stewart that I grabbed, and a bit of white. And I'm going to use both of them to create a really bright pink and white floral on top of this now black canvas panel. And where the bridges of you'll see when I lift the stencil up, where the bridges of the stencil sit, creating all the different little flower petals, you're going to see the black in between all the different flower petals. And it really is just such a striking technique to use. And I hope you're inspired to try it. If you do try it, I'd love to see your work. You can share it in the Crafty Chicks Club over on Facebook. That's my free craft community. I would love to see it if you do decide to do it. And you can do it in any form. You don't have to do it on a canvas panel. You could do it on whatever surface you wanted to do. You could use whatever stencil you wanted to use. If you do decide that you want this stencil set, now at the time that I recorded this, the set was available and in stock. So let's hope that's still the case when you go shopping on essentialstencil.com. But when you get to that site, essentialstencil.com, and you're shopping, remember you can use my brand ambassador code to get 10% off any order that you place. Just use the code The Comfy Nest. And if you decide to join the Stencil of the Month Club, you'll get 50% off your first month trying out that club. So if you decide to, I would love it if you'd use my code. It does give me a small affiliate commission, but it does not change the cost of the membership or of the products to you. So it really does help me out. So I appreciate that. Okay, so I got a lot of pink going there. And so we've got all the pink. What I wanted to do, I have a bit of white showing, that's the platinum crackle. And now I'm adding the pink and I'm dabbing it on, or I call it stippling or pouncing it on. I'm using a stencil brush and I'm pouncing it on into those floral petals. And I'm going right over that texture paste because I really found that pink was just gorgeous. It's such a striking, beautiful color on the black. So I'm going on the platinum colored texture paste. And I'm also going over what the black canvas that you can see. Not all of it's going to be textured. Some of this project will not be textured. Some of it will be textured. I just think it adds a lot of visual interest. You can, of course, you can texture the whole thing if you want to. But I decided to just leave part of it untextured because I think it gives it some interest. And again, you can see I left 3 little white spots left. That's the platinum crackle coming through. And I thought that would be interesting to have a little bit of that showing through, even though once this is dry, I am going to come over it. I'm going to coat again. You can see there's some where there's no platinum crackle. There's some of that black canvas showing through. So I pounced over that again with a second coat of paint to make sure that the pinks matched up, that the pink paint all over the floral matches. So we're just giving a second coat to those outside petals. And then I'll go through and add some white randomly because I want them to be a little bit pink and a little bit white. And you could use, of course, you could use whatever colors you want. If you're a purple lover, use purple. A metallic silver would be gorgeous, or gold. Really anything bright and vibrant, anything with high contrast would just look beautiful over on this type of project. Okay, you just got a sneak peek at how gorgeous and how striking it is to have the black, the outside of the petals, like the separation between the petals showing as black and then seeing the pink. It's going to just be lovely when it's all done. So here I come in, I'm pouncing with a much smaller stencil brush. I'm pouncing on some white and I'm going to start in the middle of the floral and then I'm going to go outwards. And as I get outside on those bigger petals, I just do the outside of the petals, not the whole petal, just the outside. It's just the way I decided to do it. There's no right or wrong. You can choose to apply your paints however you want or whatever configuration you want. You can see every couple of minutes I just pick up that stencil. It's taped down to make sure that it stays in the right place. But I do pick it up to reveal and to see what I got going on under there to just kind of decide what step I want to take next. And so here I am. I'm just pouncing some paint on the outside of those larger petals. The middle, where the petals were much smaller, I just did them all white. I'd love to know what you think of this project. If you have a minute in the comments to just let me know whether you like it, whether it inspires you to try something different, what idea you had from it, or if you think you're going to try it. I would love to know. I would love to hear from you and have that conversation. in the comments. And while you're at it, I would be honored if you would subscribe to the channel. That would mean the world to me to have you as a subscriber. And getting notifications is a really fun way to stay in touch, meaning if you hit that little bell, you can choose to get all notifications when I post videos. You'll get a notification telling you that there's new content for you to view. So that would be such an honor to have you connect with me that way. Okay, we're getting to the end here. Almost done. And look at you guys, check out how bright and vibrant those colors show up. I'm so happy with the way this turned out. And of course you can use any stencil that you want, but because this has a repeat pattern with a big, beautiful, it's like a 12 by 12. It's fantastic. This floral, the stencil itself is 12 by 12. So let me measure the floral itself is about 10 inches at its widest point. So it's fairly large, and what a great addition to have in your stencil stash. Again, you can head to essentialstencil.com if you want to check this out, and use my code, The Comfy Nest, if you want to get a discount. I'm putting a second coat on some of these because I really wanted that vibrant contrast to show up before I finished the project. Okay, this last bit of paint that I'm adding is a metallic. So it's a glitter paint. So I grabbed a platinum glitter paint that I had on hand. So meaning it has like pearlescent glitter specks in it, but the paint itself is like a clear paint or underlay. So all you're getting is the fluorescent glitter specks that you get to see on top of the project. And I lost a lot of the platinum effect by putting the pink and white paint over the texture medium. So I thought this was just such a great way to add some shimmer. And it is incredibly striking against the matte black gesso in the background. It just turned out so fun and beautiful and interesting to look at. Okay, and here it is in its entirety. I'll give you a quick close-up here and then some more close-ups in at the end of this. I hope you guys appreciated this project. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'd love to hear from you and what you think of it. Stay tuned to the very end for the close-up photos. The last thing that I did on this project was to add a sentiment to the bottom of it. And I love those Tim Holtz chipboard sentiments that you can get. They're in my Amazon store. If you're wondering what those are, you can check them out in my Amazon store, which you'll find the description and the links in this description of this video. The sentiment that I chose to put on the project is travel the world over to find the beautiful. Thanks again for stopping over onto the Comfy Nest channel. I do appreciate each and every one of you. Have a beautiful, blessed day and have fun creating.